We are back with another Via Non Capta, and tonight we are covering episode 8, and that episode is entitled The Price of Honor. We're continuing in our House of Knightley season, and this episode marks the season 2 finale. So we'll see where we get tonight, where this mission takes us. But we'll start off with a captain's log by acting Captain Jhon. So he says, acting Captain Starlog, August 28th, 2173. It's been 24 hours since Subdirector Radix Bina was cleared from quarantine and released from Dr. House's care. She's recovering emotionally, scientifically, and I suspect diplomatically. The official report describes her behavior aboard the Drake as a temporary biochemical irregularity. That's a generous way of saying she flirted with half the crew and nearly drove a Vulcan to emotional combustion. Still, the blueberries are now safely planet-side on Benicia, where they can only terrorize botanists and soil samples. I consider that a strategic victory. Dr. House, on the other hand, hasn't said a word, mostly because he's still unconscious. His vitals remain textbook perfect, his brain activity normal, and yet he's completely unresponsive. If he's pretending to avoid paperwork, he's taking commitment to an art form. Nurse Ta'ana insists he's stable, which, given recent history, feels like an ominous understatement. We've set course back to the last known coordinates of the IKS Qel'thoq. Captain Knightley and Commander Arhat remain out there, and frankly, the Drake feels incomplete without them. It's like running a symphony with half the instruments missing, and the tuba has a drinking problem. There's a faint chatter on subspace channels suggesting Starfleet Command has taken an interest in our recent unsanctioned activities. Translation: the admirals are sharpening their pads. Until Knightley returns, I intend to keep the Drake moving, preferably faster than bureaucracy. For now, morale is improving. The cargo bay no longer smells like jam, the crew has stopped kissing each other, and the environmental controls no longer respond to emotions. I'm calling that progress. End log. So with him missing tonight, missing in action in a sense, we will divert most authoritative calls for the time being to acting second officer Lieutenant Sova. So you guys have about a 2.5 week journey back to the last known location of where the IKS Qel'thoq picked up Captain Knightley and Commander Arhat. So is there anything that you want to do before we advance you back to that location?
I guess I'll do because I haven't done the full ship scan in a while.
Okay.
I would like to do that to make sure there's nothing weird going on in the ship.
So that'll be science control, difficulty 1, and you can be assisted by sensor science from the ship.
Who would like to roll a 10?
20 sided?
Yep, 120-sided dice, rolling 10 or under.
11.
I did get two.
Okay, so 1 momentum. So you do notice that, like, the ship is running relatively fine, but I think it's kind of like the stress of, Starfleet is kind of breathing down everybody's neck. So it's like some of the fine tuning and some of the things are just not everything is like 100%. We're talking like as a Vulcan, you can notice that like you're probably off by like 0.04% from top efficiency, and you estimate to the non-Vulcan crew on the Drake that everybody's just a little stressed from like essentially being on the run.
I'll check the computer to see if there is suggestions for lowering stress boosting morale, and just send them out to the leaders of the stations.
Like a Google search,
Yes,
how to not be stressed, and then send those things out.
to specifically the leaders of the different departments.
Perfect. Nothing like just a cold hard copy and paste sent out to all department heads.
Yep.
That'll get them all. Woo! I love it.
Speaking of documents, I think I will do my best to make sure that all documents are up to date because I have a feeling if Star Trek catches us, they're going to want to see all of the documents.
Okay, so what specifically what are you trying to put into order?
So I was thinking the different logs, all the logs
Okay.
that they would be checking, making sure that we have our maps up to date, showing where we were.
Oh, so you mean like quantifying like what the Drake did and where the Drake went and
The,
like what the Drake documented?
the official stuff that we're giving to Starfleet if we're caught. So if there's
Gotcha.
anything that, like, obviously, I'm not going to put in the fact that Eric's character gave false documents to.
Okay.
See what I mean? But
Yeah.
like our official statement, so that way I'm thinking maybe they won't go digging through the ship as much if there's like a nice orderly packet to give them.
I understand what you mean. So this will be your task, command presence. So I will allow you to do that and choose science presence if you would like.
I just have to pay the.
You just have to pay the cost. So it's science presence. Now,
Okay.
what is going to be the thing is now you've used your momentum,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to roll and you're going to try to get as many, basically, however many successes you get is how difficult it will be for them to know that,
Something's missing.
yes.
Am I allowed to get any assistance from anyone? Like, could I ask the ambassador because he probably knows paperwork?
Yeah, that's a good thing. He can give you command insight, and he would just be an assist roll.
How good is your command insight there, Eric?
Command is 4 and insight is 9. So it's at 13.
There
Yeah.
you go. So yeah, so roll one dice, try to get 13 or less.
Oh, 18.
I
Not
got
doing
one
good, though.
success and a complication. And we have no.
Yeah. So it's a difficulty one, and the complication is you know that like looking at the surface of this, anybody who just like if you were to hand this to somebody and they just looked at it and read it and just kind of like just glanced at it, it probably would pass whatever what's it called? Pass the cheese, pass the smell test. I don't know what they call it, but anyways, nobody would really look into it. But if somebody with a scrutinizing eye was to pay attention to this in any regard, like it would be pretty easy for them to pretty quickly put together that there's not everything is here.
Okay.
And that perhaps this is a more of a organized distraction. But it is still a difficulty one. So
Mhm.
there's always a
So I
chance.
have something to present, but we're
You
going
do
to have
have
to.
something to present them that
Yeah.
is actually a little shrouded.
Yeah.
So
So basically, I'm gonna have somebody look over it and improve it, or I'm gonna have to have someone really sell it if
right.
someone's looking over this.
Yeah. Okay, anything else before we
I was gonna say it's either that or if it's that bad, he may want to hide it and come up with a different plan.
That's true.
So 2.5 weeks go by. You arrive back at the approximate location of where the ICAS originally left, and it is now September 14th. Now, you can either wait here until you hear from the captain, or you can do some exploratory things. I mean, it's up to you guys.
I'm going to do a scan to see if there's anything actually in the area that's of interest.
Okay, yeah. So that's science control, difficulty one, and then again, you can be assisted by
Sensor
science.
thing.
Yeah.
So it's a 10. So I got 2. Did anybody roll for the
No,
ship?
no, but I don't think anybody rolled.
I can try. I got a 10.
There we go.
So you said difficulty 1?
Yep.
So we got 2.
So you scan, and there are no vessels on range, and there's nothing massively of note that you already haven't already kind of tracked on Drake sensors when you were here previously. Nothing's really changed. It's pretty as boring as it was earlier. You do have some like debris and stuff from some of the satellite that the Qel'thoq dealt with. You do see some like Klingon debris, but it's very like it's almost like space dust. That's about it.
I mean, if I see literally nothing, I don't see a reason to leave. So
Okay.
I'll direct basically everybody to work on improving weapons and sensors, making sure we're prepared for anything that comes.
Bump up those numbers.
Yes.
So you guys proceed to sit there for about 9 to 10 days, and then you get a message from Captain Knightley.
All right. So I think what she would do is contact them and let them know that we're like to rendezvous and to expect 3 and then meet in my ready room.
Is this a message or is this like
This would be a
actual?
message. Yeah, she's not
Okay.
able to like video conference you.
Okay, so I'll just send back a standard like understood. We
This
will
is-
await your arrival.
2 successes. So as you're at your science station, Sova, Ensign Milek turns back from his station and he says, Lieutenant, I'm not sure if you've noticed on your sensors there, but it seems like the Kiri-kin-tha has moved 2 sectors closer in our direction.
It's not like a weird path. It was like a beeline.
It's like
Correct.
what Milex says is that they were tracking him, and then he turned his vessel towards the Drake, and he has already moved several sectors towards the Drake.
How do they know
So,
where we are is what I want to know.
well, that's the thing is somebody may have spotted us and gave him orders of they're here, go get them.
Yeah.
Because it is possible that he's just moving that way, but it's like for him to turn and just gun it, it's like it seems more deliberate.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But that's the thing. There's nothing like I can't hide behind a moon or something. There's literally nothing in this area,
There's
right?
nothing here.
Yeah.
Nothing here. So
We're
you
what?
also get from Knightley that like she's not going to be here for like almost like a month and a half.
So if it's that long, it doesn't make sense to stay, especially since is there any M-class planets in the area that Starfleet really isn't looking at?
There are very low level M class planets like documented that many people don't visit. It's not like a high traffic. There are several.
Is there any that like are deemed good but wasn't like
Yeah, Eta Eridani, that system is about 8 days away,
okay?
and it's just an M class planet that doesn't really have anything on it. It has a couple of trading posts on it, but nothing of massive note.
Okay. So that's what I was thinking. Because and the trading post wouldn't like immediately turn us in, right?
They're like right on the edge of the Federation zone, so they technically are governed by the Federation, but they're not like Starfleet police, essentially.
Because that's the thing is I have a favor. I was wondering if I could cash in, but I don't know. Because remember there was a Denobulan host on the colony.
Yep.
So I was wondering, is there any way I could cash that favor in? But the thing is, I don't know where he went. You know,
He was deposited on like IOTA something. I forget what it was called. And then they were gonna
Iota
pick
Corton Denobula.
yeah, they were gonna like he got deposited there and then they were gonna get picked up and he was gonna get sent back to the Denoblia.
Okay, so
So
that wouldn't help me.
you could you could have Eric reach out to him and essentially falsify more documents that the Drake is allowed to go to this station and like go to this like planet, and like if you presented papers to any type of authority or trading people there that they would see that you're allowed to be here, there would be no reason to report anything.
I don't know if that would work. Because I was wondering, can I just call in the favor to the guy and say, we're heading over this trading post. Do you have any connections that you could call?
Yes, what I'll do with that, I'll add a difficulty by having this guy put his stamp of approval on it as well. How about that? We'll do it that way.
Yes.
So he'll up the difficulty just straightforward, and then Eric can roll his presence, and then you can do science presence because it's going to be your type of like you're trying to convey like you to the thing.
Okay.
So you're Eric. You're going to roll 2d20s. You're trying to do command presence.
I got one.
You got one.
All right. 13 and 12.
So that's 3. So that's 4 success. That's going to be a difficulty 4 for anybody at a Iridani to know that this is like a fake document. It takes about 2 days for that to happen. Would you like to head to that planet now?
Yep. We'll head to the trading post specifically because I figure we can get supplies. The crew can relax a little bit. We can figure out what we're doing and keep an eye on the Vulcan ship.
Sure.
Because if the Vulcan ship makes another U-turn, we know something's up.
So, yeah, you guys warp to that system and you enter the system, and it's a traditional looking M-class planet. There's nothing incredibly different about it. It generally kind of looks like Earth. The continents are just a little different, and there's a little less cloud coverage on it. And so, you're in the system for a couple minutes as you're getting close to. You're not immediately hailed, but then eventually you can see, like, on subspace channels that there's chatter, and you pretty much get the feeling that this is probably when you should like present that you have passage to be here. Like there's a reason why you're here.
Yes. We contact the space station saying,
Yeah.
approval for docking, for trading and refitting.
Yeah, and basically in your thing, you're just doing like a Federation presence like inspection kind of a thing where you're just making sure everything's going well, and nothing really crazy. So now I will roll. I'll make it spicy. That's always fun to do. Nope, these people are as dumb as rocks. No idea that it's a fake letter. They love it. Not even a single success. So they're just like, wow, okay, whatever you say. They allow you to just enter orbit of this system, and they don't even bother you unless you talk to them.
Can I request information about items they have for trade? It doesn't have to be specific, just like general ideas of what do they have.
They mostly have like minerals and a couple food stocks, but not really anything more than that.
Okay,
It's mostly like a mining and like agricultural planet.
So I think I'll put the ambassador in charge of securing food stocks because we probably need some food because we've been sitting for a while.
Yeah, that's true. You could load up on.
And I'll contact the engineering to see if we need any dilithium or any type of minerals for anything. If they say no, then we'll just trade for food stocks.
I like it. Yeah, so you just get like normal run of the mill like Federation food, just like you would. There's nothing really special about it. It's nothing different than really what you would get like at the Starbase too, like normal. It's meats and vegetables and fruits and stuff of that nature. It's nothing really crazy. It doesn't really seem like there's anything like unique to the planet. It seems like they're just normally run, foods and stuff of that nature. So after about 2 days in orbit, Milek says that he notices the Kiri-kin-tha is starting to tilt towards our direction.
I have a feeling this is going to be a cat and mouse thing where we're going to keep moving and they're going to keep.
Seems like somehow they have our location. Like the message they sent you has some sort of secret tracking device in it.
That's what I'm wondering was it a warning to be like, hey, take some time and then get to a point where he's like, okay, now I need to find them. And then they can start tracking us.
Right.
I'm going to have engineering look into that.
Okay, that is engineering, insight, difficulty 3.
It's pretty bad when we have 2 engineers and none of them are on.
I think I have John's numbers.
Okay.
These are probably not super up to date, but that is okay. So engineering, insight. That's a 15. Do you want him to have more than 1 dice? You can't do that, right? No. Or do you have 2 dice? Or 2 momentum?
We have 2 momentum.
Do you want him to have more than 2 dice?
Yeah, we'll spend 1 to give him an extra.
So he has a focus in Technobabble. I don't know if he still has it, but on my paperwork he does. So I will, for now, keep that. He also has behavioral perception. So if I allow one of those focuses, he'll have 3 successes. If I don't, he only has 2.
Okay.
I will say that he can. And he can see that on the thing that you guys opened, essentially, to like peer into where their ship is that you can totally tell that they're also looking back.
Okay.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. 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 I'm never giving up.
One of those, he gave us a head start and now he's tracking us. Is there any way that we can, because it's like, I don't want to just turn it off because then he'll realize that I've caught on.
Maybe.
Is there any way that we can create like a dummy signal so that way it seems like we're going this way and then we can go a different way?
It's possible that would take some finagling. but it is possible.
Now, this signal, is this like a communication signal?
It's basically a physical computer file that is open, and it is basically, it's almost like sharing your computer, like having those, like, I give you access to my computer kind of a thing. It's a file actively opened on the Drake's computer that allows both of these ships to talk to each other.
Suggestion.
Yes.
Can we put it on a probe, launch the probe, and then turn it off on our end where we can only watch him, but the probe goes and they can track the probe?
Is that possible?
You could put the file on the probe and launch it and create a Drake signature. The only problem is, like, one, you would have to do a really nice turn on, turn off at a very quick thing that a Vulcan may be, keeping an eye on. And two, you wouldn't be able to track him because you're removing the file from the computer.
How far is he from us?
If he was coming at you at maximum warp, he's probably like 5 days away.
And what is his maximum warp?
He has a warp 7 capable ship.
What is his current speed?
Like warp 3.
So that's what I'm saying. If he continued on warp 3, how long would it take for him to get to us?
Like 3 weeks.
That would be enough time if he stayed at that speed.
Right.
Is there anything of interest? Like, is there an asteroid field nearby, or a moon, or something that somebody might try to hide on?
There's a couple nebulas nearby.
Can we travel through the nebula, launch the probe out of the nebula towards something that looks like a hiding place, and have that be the switchover?
I can. Yeah, you totally can.
Because that's what I was thinking. Like, if there's an asteroid field that'd be hard to maneuver through, it would make sense for us to hide in it. See what I mean?
Yes. Just know that you won't know where he is.
Yes. But he also wouldn't know where we are.
Sure.
So what my plan is to go into the nebula.
Yep.
Make it look like we're readjusting, going through the nebula, and then we'll
Like there's a
continue.
blip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Asteroid field or something.
Going through a tunnel.
Yes. Send the probe out, make a sharp turn,
Yeah.
and then hide something somewhere, asteroid field, nebula, somewhere within a few days of the meeting place. So that way we can hide there, and then when the captain's supposed to show up, zip to the rendezvous.
So from a different direction from where you're meeting the captain.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that'll be the engineering control difficulty 2, and it can be assisted with science presence.
Okay. So I shall assist.
I can have Jhon roll control. Okay. 1 success.
I got 1 success.
2 successes. So that's 1 momentum back because
Very nice.
3 successes altogether. And so Jhon is able to put together this probe and deposit the file into the probe, and it's ready to launch, and you can move to the nebula.
Okay. So that's up to our pilot to do his finagling.
Okay. 1 success. That's 2 successes. Ooh, and a complication.
Ooh.
I did roll a complication.
What was the difficulty level?
Difficulty 1.
Could we spend a momentum plus the 1 to get rid of the complication?
Yep.
Right, so we'll spend one momentum to get rid of it.
Okay, so you remove that complication. So he kind of edges his way into the nebula. I should say he edges his way on the side of the nebula. Do you want him to fully enter it?
Yeah, because it needs to cut the signal.
Okay.
So that way, that's our transition. As soon as it cuts, we can launch the probe and kill the program.
Gotcha. So you cut in, and off it goes.
And it's heading for the asteroid field.
Yeah, it's heading for like a general asteroid field, a couple other M-class planets on long range extreme sensors. Like star charts show that there's interesting things in this direction, so that's where it's headed.
All right. So then I would like to do a hard pivot and kill the program, then do a hard pivot, and then go.
Okay, so you turn off the program, you give it a beat, and then you pull out of the nebula and you go back to where the Qel'thoq, or do you stay with the trading people?
That's a good point. How far out would the probe go?
It would probably go, I mean, the reality is in space it would go until either it is destroyed or something like it runs out of inertia. So it could go pretty fast for a bit and then it would eventually slow down.
So I would like to have a meeting because we have a couple days before Kiri-kin-tha makes it here. So I would like a staff meeting.
Okay. So Dr. House is not present because he's still in the med bay. So Nurse Ta'ana comes up representing Dr. House.
Okay.
Tiny Franck comes up representing Arhat. Zarin is just been like a guest at the senior staff. I don't think he's officially made the senior staff, but
No. He's made it clear he's present at all.
he's right, exactly. And obviously Jhon is there and Clark is there.
Yes. All right. So I basically lay out the situation. We got the probe out. They're heading for it. So I would like Milek to compute the general direction that the Kiri-kin-tha would take. Because if it stays out of the system, there's an argument for us staying in the system. If they're going to go through this system, it would be less advantageous to stay here. And then I would like to discuss with the crew what the best option is. Because we are 8 days away from where the captain's rendezvous point, and this is a safe place to stay because the trading post doesn't have a problem with us being here. This isn't a very frequented place. And also, the trading post is willing to trade with us, and there's M-class planets we can get supplies from. It seems like an advantageous place to be. So first we need the estimate for, is the Kiri-kin-tha going to go through this sector?
You want me to go back to the station and look it up right now, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look up right now and be like, all right, if he continues the direction he was going, is he going through this sector? Or is he going to basically take a shortcut? Like if he's way up here and we're down here, is he going to do a diagonal or is he going to go down where we were and then go across?
Oh, I see. That would be difficulty 2.
Can I assist him?
Yeah. It would be con reason for him, and then for you it would be science presence.
Okay.
Okay, so he got 3 successes.
I got 1.
So that's 4 successes. So it's difficulty 2. So two momentum.
Very nice.
So were you having him roll this before you went into the nebula and did all this, or after?
I'm having him do it now, but we have the records from... See what I mean?
Okay.
We still have the records from all the things that happened before. So we have the sensors to go, okay, did he continue to where we were and then... Or did he immediately change course as we were moving?
You mean from the location of where you were meeting up with Captain Knightley to the trading post? Did he make a subtle change or a direct change?
Yes.
I gotcha.
Is it like, oh, we're going to go here, and did he finish and then change, or did he change with us?
It was slow. He did not do it immediately.
But I'm saying, did he go all the way to where we were and then change?
No.
So there's reason to believe that he will do the same thing here. So he wouldn't come to this sector. He would slowly change.
Yes. And that's what you believe.
Yes.
Is that he would not come to that location. He would just slowly change course to match the live location.
Can I also have an estimate of how long it would take him to get to the probe? Is that allowed to...
If the probe is moving, I mean, again,
we don't know if it stopped, but I'm saying...
Right. If he uses maximum warp, it was only a matter of days.
Yes.
It's like 5 or 6 days. If he doesn't, then it's about 3 weeks.
Okay. So I would present...
You didn't shoot it at him. You shot it away from him.
Yeah, I shot it. So that's what I'm saying. I would present it to the crew that obviously we can't stay either way, we can't stay the whole time.
Right.
Because as soon as he finds the probe, he's going to go to our last known location.
Yes.
So therefore, we do have time. So would it be better to stay here in a safe location for, we'll say, a week and then move? Or would it be better to move now and hide somewhere? So this is my question to the crew.
Milek thinks that you probably are safe to move now. There's no reason to. You've had approval to stay at the trading place, and with going into the nebula, like no ships can detect us, so it's not like anybody's able to even see where we are currently.
Does the rest of the crew agree with this?
I think so.
Is there a good suggestion for where to go? Because obviously it would be nice to be somewhere that we could get supplies if need be, but obviously being wanted, that limits our options. So does anyone have any suggestions? Or should we just find like a nebula near where the captain's going to rendezvous and just sit in it?
If we're safe here for a few weeks, then let's just stay here, I guess.
Thing is we're kind of here at the trading post to check things out. That's what our paperwork states. If we sit here for too long, it may not look like we're checking things out.
That's a good point.
So we may want to try and find the next good location to move to. The other thing to think about is the commander's family is also in trading. Do you want to reach out to any of the commander's family and just see? The problem is the commander isn't here, so they still may not help us because it's not from him.
Because is there anyone that the commander's family would know?
Unless the commander told them, I doubt the commander would know. The commander's family would know anything.
No, I'm saying would they personally know anyone on the ship?
Possibly only people that the commander has told them about, but overall, there's no guarantee any way you put it because it's not coming from the commander.
Sure.
It's one of those things. Think about your own family, Lieutenant, where if someone from the ship contacted your family, without going through you, they might help, they might not help. You never know how things would go.
I don't like the idea of just sitting in a nebula for a month. It would be the safest, but it's like it would also be the most dangerous.
It would throw up a bunch of red flags.
Yes.
The longer we sit.
I would like to do a scan and see if there's anything on the other way near where the captain is rendezvousing. Because we went one way. Is there anything like a different way that we could hide at?
I mean, star charts on that side. If you went back the other direction, you would exit Federation space, and I mean, there's planets out there. Totally, they're just not Federation run.
But there's no Klingon. There's nobody who's like claimed it that would attack us for being out there.
Not that you have on record.
Okay, so why don't we go like right outside of Federation? See if there's like a M-class solar system like right outside of that we could do something, study it, collect supplies,
But generally head back to...
Yes, to the rendezvous point.
Okay. So, Jhon takes that under recommendation. He says full steam ahead. What's he say? Have it be.
Have it be.
And you begin your journey back. So it takes about another 8 days to get to that location to bypass it. And a week, 7 days after traveling towards that location, let's have you, Andrew, roll sensors control.
Is this the same field as something I've done before?
I don't think so. No. So sensors control, difficulty 1, and then you can have sensors science assist you.
So somebody got to roll 10.
Let's have Matthew do it. Want to roll 10? Matthew, just roll a single D20 and see if you get a 10 or less on it.
I got a 3.
Nice.
Awesome.
So we got 2 successes.
So 1 momentum back, and you see at your sensor display at your console that you see at very almost extreme long range, you see the USS Kiri-kin-tha is on sensors.
Seriously?
Yep.
Holy cow. How did they find us? We turned it off. Do we see anything in front of is there anything in front of us?
You're still about 3 or 4 days away from the planet that you were heading to.
So there's really nothing around us.
There's a couple moons and stuff like that, but there's not much of anything else. You're kind of in this weird dead zone where there's not a lot of planets.
I think this is only ending one way.
Yeah.
I would like the engineering to figure out how they found us. Are they still tracking us somehow?
You can do another engineering control. I can do that for you. Do you want him to have more dice than that? It'll be a difficulty 2.
We'll spend 1, so he can have 3.
I have computer expertise.
What would Eric be rolling for computer expertise?
If he was going to assist, he could do...
Advisor, yeah. It says advisor, when assisting with command assist character, reroll 1 D20.
Yeah, so that would be command presence, I guess, right? Is that how that would fall? Yeah, so do command presence.
So stand behind Jhon and just point at the screen and be like, do this, do this.
6.
Perfect.
Right.
So he'll re-roll because he has 2 successes. I'll re-roll. He has 1, 3, 4 successes.
Very nice.
So that's 2 momentum back,
Okay.
plus Eric's assist, right?
Yeah.
So that's 3 momentum.
So we're now maxed out.
So Jhon is looking it over. Everything went incredibly smooth. The best thing that he could formulate, but it would be more, he would have to, he puts it into your court, is if there was a drop between turning off the file on the Drake and turning it on the probe, could a Vulcan see milliseconds of a difference?
Can I do some type of roll to...
So you can roll science, insight, difficulty 1. It's probably a 0, to be honest, but we'll say 1.
All right, I got 2 successes.
Okay.
I'll just stick the extra one in to be extra.
Just like right into the Vulcan mind. So with him saying that, you put it together that it's very likely that Dupek didn't fall for the probe trick and likely just played the guessing game that of knowing what you guys would do.
Okay.
You summarize that he likely caught the power shift, like the going from the Drake to this probe, and then played chess and was like, this is what they're going to do, and made a decision.
Oh, boy.
And you also know that if you see them on almost extreme range sensors, they can see you.
Is there any way we can camouflage?
I mean, you can go behind the moon. You can go behind one of the moons. It can save you a couple minutes, but
He's going to find us, though, right? Because if we go around the moon, he's just going to be like, there he is.
you're playing chess with the Vulcans, so it's up to you what you want to do.
I'm going to say we'll continue on our path, but we'll increase warp.
Okay, just slam it down. Okay,
Yeah.
so you continue. It only takes you 2 days now to get to this M-class planet. And yeah, what would you like to do? You don't see them on long-range sensors.
Is there anything? There's no nebulas, no asteroid fields.
Nope, just planet.
I'm doing a Star Trek thing.
Okay.
So do you remember the woman who was pretending to be a god? She hid her ship in the northern poles of the planet.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I would like to attempt that.
Okay, perfect. So you go to there, and you want Milek to put you in the perfect spot?
Yep.
You can either spend 2 momentum, or you can have Milek roll for it.
We have poles, so we're just going to send the 2.
Okay, so he puts you right on the perfect part of like the polar part, and just hangs out. How long do you want to stay here?
Are we able to scan?
What do you mean? Like, do you have long range scans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's the thing is, if we scan them, they'll scan us, right?
Well, with you being there, you can scan out, and if they were to scan back, they could probably see that they're getting scanned, but they wouldn't know where you are.
Okay. I want to do like if there's any warp interference or some strange signal to get notified.
Okay.
But other than that, I basically just want the crew to be like checking out the planet and, doing something productive rather than just sitting staring at a screen.
So we can put your like an alert thing on your sensors thing like you have for many things. You can spend 2 momentum for that, or you can do science control, and you would be assisted by science computers, and it would be difficulty 2.
I'm gonna just do it.
Okay.
Actually, I'll spend a momentum so I can.
Okay, and then you want Mike or Matthew to roll for that?
I rolled a 6.
Okay, so 1 success, and then what's Andrew got?
Because I can't use bioscan or skeptical, can I? Or radioactivity.
What do you specifically want?
Because I want when they warp in, I just want to sense that radiation that.
Yeah, then I'll let you use radiation.
Okay, so because I would have gotten 2 successes.
Okay, and 3 with the ship, so that's 1 success back.
But I rolled a 20 as the thing. So can I spend a momentum plus Matthews to cancel
success, the bonus momentum plus that 1 to get rid of that complication?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you do that. Do you want to stay here until something happens, or do you want to do something?
In the meantime, I want to scan the planet. Like I said, I want the crew to do something productive. So
that's fine.
The planet.
But I'm saying, how much time do you want me to pass? Like, what is an uncomfortable amount of time passage?
So because how long until the captain gets to her spot?
Knightley likely will not be to her location
for 3 weeks, right?
So about 5.5 weeks.
We'll wait here 2 weeks unless something interesting happens.
Okay, so exactly 2 weeks go by, and the Kiri-kin-tha shows up on long-range sensors.
Okay, so as soon as it bings, I cut the sensor. Is there any way to track where they are without doing active sensors?
You can see that they're from the location of where you came from.
So they're heading across?
They are coming towards your general direction. They're not like beelining towards you, but they're coming in this direction.
Okay.
But they're in the direction of where you were to meet up with the other captain. So in the minutes that you are trying to like discontinue the scanning and everything, you get like a general broadcast message, and it's from the USS Kiri-kin-tha.
Okay, so we'll listen to it. Because that doesn't give our signal, right?
No, he's just broadcasting to space. It's just like a megaphone out into space.
Okay.
So you get this message, and it says, "To the USS Drake, I have orders to bring you to Starbase 2. Violation of this would not be advisable."
Well, I'm just trying to think because he's heading towards us, right?
He's generally heading in your direction.
Because how close does he have to get before he can see us?
Probably within system range. But he can start like actively scanning for you. Visible, probably orbit.
But that's what I'm just trying to think because we're invisible up until a certain point, right?
He's like right on top of you pretty much. But he could definitely start scanning for you relatively soon.
Yes. But I'm just wondering because if we shut off, if we go to low power, he wouldn't be able to find us until basically he goes to the pole and goes, there he is.
Pretty
right?
much. Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So that's what we'll do. We'll go low power. Okay.
Turn off all the ship's power. And you
know,
idle there.
Except for life support and,
all the good stuff, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, turn off life support.
And so 40 minutes go by and he enters the system.
Okay.
And now I will scan.
You will attempt to scan. How dare you?
I will attempt the scan. And I will be assisted by the Kiri-kin-tha.
Mhm.
It doesn't. He is very slowly moving through the system.
Okay. So we'll wait.
Be very, very quiet.
Because I'm thinking like we're basically invisible unless he like really scans this planet.
You're really hoping he's just gonna move on past.
Yep.
So you just sit there, and then you see one of the adjacent moons. He starts scanning that.
Okay.
He spends a few minutes there scanning,
Mm-hmm.
and then he begins to move to the moon that you're located on.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets to the general moon, and now he's going to scan this moon.
Can I use the momentum to have me like perfectly?
Like he's just like a straight line when they're reading the polar magnetisms.
Yes.
You can increase the difficulty for him
So
by spending 2 momentum.
all right, that's our last 2. I'm spending
Okay. Okay. The Drake's last maneuver.
it. Yes.
Does the Kiri-kin-tha find the Drake?
Mm-hmm.
I will spend my last 2 threat.
Oh boy.
Oh, geez.
You see the Kiri-kin-tha scanning the planet, and you see it break orbit and then pull in towards close to where the Drake is at the top of the moon.
Seriously?
You see the Kiri-kin-tha approaching the polar top of the moon, and there's nothing's happening.
Okay.
The Drake has not been scanned.
Okay. So we'll hold out.
You have one last maneuver.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Because I'm trying to think, because there's really no way to make us more invisible, is there?
Milek says to you that, like, the only thing he could think of is that, like, you could literally open fire on the moon and just create, like, debris and, like, try to, like, basically enter the moon's atmosphere and, like, ride the dust cloud. That would save you probably. He could probably get you another, like, few minutes.
But it's like, that wouldn't really, we're getting to the point where it's like, we have to do something, right? Because we can't, there's no hiding. They're going to find us.
Eventually, it's coming.
So, how long would it take to enter warp?
It would probably take the ship a full, like, 5 minutes to get everything back up and running.
So, if we fired on the moon, would that give us 5 minutes?
Yes.
So, since he made that suggestion, I say a better solution would be to use those minutes to escape.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, I think this is the tactical's turn.
Okay, so what do you want him to do?
Do exactly what you just said. Blast
Okay.
the moon, make a wonderful smoke cloud to be like, where is it? And then for us to just full speed.
Okay.
So I'm firing phasers or
Yep.
torpedo into the moon.
You're firing phasers.
Okay, we're firing phasers.
Yep.
Well, you have to turn things back on in order
Okay.
for that to happen. So you are control security assisted by weapons security, and then you could assist Andrew with sensors insight. No, science insight. What am I saying? Wow. Difficulty 2, Mike.
Difficulty 2.
Ooh.
I'm working with 12.
Okay. We have no momentum.
I have security and control.
I got
2. 6 and 3.
Nice. I rolled a 1.
So that's 3 successes.
That's 4 successes.
2 momentum back.
So I would like to use 1 momentum to just make this the most smoothest. I made sure everyone was prepared to slam all this stuff on.
So to create a trait of like this, you're hard to like get around. It's gonna be two momentum.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
So the ship comes on to just a minimal amount, and the Drake fires its phase cannons into the moon, and it starts this like debris cloud. And you want Melek to like enter it and like try to.
And then as soon as warp drive comes on, just slam it.
Okay, so you start to scope like he's going through it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Melek curves down into the moon's atmosphere, and the polarized hull is starting to get like sprinkles of moon rocks and dust across the thing, and it's whizzing through. And Melek says the Kiri-kin-tha is also like diving with the Drake, and then Franck sees on his tactical display that the Kiri-kin-tha has attached grappler hooks to the Drake.
Seriously?
Yes. And then after about 30 seconds of him seeing that on his tactical display, the Drake is being hailed.
Is there any suggestions for is there any way to detach?
I mean, you can shoot at the Kiri-kin-tha.
That's the literally only way is to shoot.
I mean, you could really gun it and try to break the cables, but that might make things a little spicy. It depends on what you want to do. How spicy you want it to get.
So I would like to ask for suggestions from the rest of the crew.
I think that Ta'ana at this point would say,
Give up.
Yeah, I think she would say, Lieutenant, it seems we have been bested. Perhaps we should give in.
The biggest problem I see is just the sheer amount of time until the captain comes back for the Drake to keep running with the Kiri-kin-tha right behind them.
Because as he's saying, you have about 3.5 more weeks until she's here.
That is true. If it was like 3 days, it would be like,
just hold on.
Hold the line.
Because honestly, the only thing I can
waving the flag. I mean, Andrew, Sova is dealing with another Vulcan. He's very calculated.
Andrew wants to go scorched earth on him.
Yeah, right.
I guess we have no choice but to open hailing frequencies.
Yeah, I'll just say that like Jhon is just like losing his mind. He's just let you do everything because he doesn't know what to do. Yeah. And so the screen comes on, and it's Captain Dupek, and he says, Lieutenant Commander, I believe we have caught you. Do you wish to continue this process of trying to escape?
Captain, it is agreeable to see you again.
It is agreeable to see you all, yes, but it is most concerning that your captain is not present on the bridge.
No. We were waiting for her. That is why we did not return to Starbase 2. It would seem illogical to return without the full crew complement for our hearing with the Admiral.
That is logical. The dilemma that faces myself and my crew is that now Admiral Foxwell is threatening to our crew to be in trouble if we do not bring your ship in. You tell me that your captain is soon to return, though?
Yes, and I give him the exact, to the minute estimate.
Okay, that is not a time that I wish to hear, but it is a workable time. You do understand, Commander and Lieutenant Commander, that I must take control of this vessel.
Understood. And you understand that my orders are to retrieve the captain, so I had to take unorthodox approaches to achieve my mission.
Understood. It is only logical that we do our best to do what our captain orders of us.
Yes.
I would not believe that Captain Knightley would be someone unreasonable.
She has her moments, obviously being of human origin, but she does have times where she can see logic.
But yet, a Starfleet captain nonetheless, Lieutenant Commander.
Agreed.
We will dock with the Drake and begin seizing of the vessel if you feel that you no longer need to run.
I would say run is a poor choice of words. I would put it more as delay.
Would you wish to continue delaying things, or would you like to turn the ship over to my control?
Obviously, in connection with my orders, it would be more it would be more agreeable to continue to delay, but I do not see that as a feasible option anymore.
I believe, as the humans would say, those cards are not on the table. I do not wish to harm anyone or your vessel, but I am ordered to bring the Drake in.
Understood. I must say, I do not know the current condition of the Drake, though. Obviously, with our maneuvering and different things, we may have damaged the engine. Perhaps that would cause us to return to Starbase 2 at a slower speed.
Allow us to dock, Lieutenant Commander, and we can discuss things further.
Perhaps we could discuss it over a game of Qel'thoq.
As much as a game of Qel'thoq does sound agreeable, I have my orders to fulfill.
Understood, as do I.
So he turns and he says to his tactical officer to remove the grappler cables, the hooks, and then he says that he's going to dock with the Drake.
I would inform Mulek to prepare for docking, but if in order to avoid debris, he feels that he would have to make certain course adjustments, that is, of course, up to him.
Okay. So he pulls out of the debris a little bit to a more safer level, and the Kiri-kin-tha comes down and docks aside the Drake.
I will meet him with the commander and with Tiny.
Tiny and the commander. Okay. Anybody else?
Does the ambassador want to come, or is he going to hide in his quarters?
I'll come along.
So the four of you go there. You're there at the doors. You hear the other set of doors opening. You hear the airlocks going and all that noise. And then you see on your side of the thing, you can see through the glass, through the window in your airlock before they come onto the Drake. You see Captain Dupek, and you see him and 5 other officers.
Okay, so we would just open the door.
So he opens the door, and he looks at like everyone, and he says, "Commander, Lieutenant Commander," and then he looks at the other two, and he says, "Crewman," and then he says, "Ensign." He takes a deep breath, and he says, "I am here to formally put Commander Jhon and Lieutenant Commander Sova under arrest." He turns to Commander Jhon, and he says, "Under Penal Code 512.2A, you have been charged with negligent record keeping, and under Penal Code 201.3B, you've been charged with disobedience of order." And then he turns to Sova, and he says, "Under Penal Code 605.2, you have been charged with unauthorized access or data transfer to a non-Federation party. Under Penal Code 705.9, you have been charged with espionage on behalf of a foreign entity. And under Penal Code 103.5A, you were an accessory to the violation of General Order 1.
I will obviously need to examine these charges.
I would like to see what are the charges?
What are the charges?
I am skeptical of the accuracy of these charges because I do not recall committing such crimes.
Understood. All of this will be held in trial as soon as your Captain Knightley returns.
May I ask what charges the captain and Commander Arhat will receive?
Would like to first read you your rights before you ask any questions. So he Mirandizes you, and then says to you, "Do you wish to keep speaking?"
Yes, I would like to again ask my question of what charges are the captain and commander being suspected of?
So he turns back. He looks at the handful of Vulcan officers in the airlock. He gives them like a look with a hand gesture, and he closes the airlock. And then he turns to the 4 of you, and he says, "Captain Knightley is charged with insubordination, unauthorized absence, aiding an enemy of the Federation, violation of General Order 1, negligence in duty of care, excessive use of force or encouragement of violence, and obstruction of record." He says that Commander Arhat is charged with unauthorized trespass and espionage, execution of enemy combatants without due process, and dereliction of command continuity.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Thank you, Captain. I would like to assure you that the crew will perform their duties admirably and that they were unaware of the actions of any superior officer.
I appreciate knowing this, Lieutenant Commander. The Commander and yourself are to be brought to the brig on the Kiri-kin-tha, and the remainder of non-essential crew are to be housed in their quarters. And my chief of security, and he opens the airlock again, it says, we'll be taking command of the ship. I see that Commander Dr. House is not present. I would wish to talk to him, since he, I believe, is the highest ranking officer on your ship.
That will be most difficult due to an unexplained illness he has contracted, and we have not been able to find a way to have him regain consciousness.
Most unfortunate. Who is the next highest ranking senior staff member? Lieutenant Clark?
Clark would be the next highest ranked officer, right?
So, yeah. So he says, very good. I turn the command over to Lieutenant Commander Teprena, my chief security officer. Will take control of the ship, and Lieutenant Clark will be the liaison between our two vessels.
Understood. Would it be agreeable if I retrieved a few personal effects, like my personal Qel'thoq, so we could perhaps play a game while I'm sitting in the brig?
We will supply any of the entertainment needed. I cannot allow any items or objects from the Drake to come aboard the Kiri-kin-tha.
So then I will just inform him. I began compiling list of the activities that were taking place.
Like you hand him the pad of
yes.
up-to-date logs.
It may not be a complete list, but I felt it would be good to begin compiling things.
So you hand it to him, he looks at it, and he looks back at you, and then he looks back at the pad, and then he kind of looks at all four of you standing there. He says, it would appear that many things are missing.
As I said, I did it quickly as we were traveling. So at the very least, you had the framework of the activities of the Drake.
All right, roll command presence. You tell me, roll command presence. Just tell me how many successes you get.
So I got a 13, which is nothing, but I got a 1. I rolled a 1.
2 successes.
Yes.
I'm not going to spend my only threat I have to do that.
You might really want to do that.
So you are lying. It is a tie. So you...
Well, no, I'm not lying.
Well, you're saying you did it quickly, which is you actively did it. You were purposely trying to be...
Yes. I didn't spend days upon it. So yes, it's not a full lie.
It's not a full lie. I understand. But basically, you're telling him, oh, this was hastily made, but in reality, you knowingly omitted things.
Yes. It was hastily made. It was hastily made. I just am not divulging.
You're not providing all of the truth.
Yes.
So he just looks at you. He just stares at you for a minute and says, understood, Lieutenant Commander. And then he gestures to the airlock, and 4 officers who are armed
like
enter.
Like with rifles? Like, are we talking?
No, they have normal laser weapons. And they come in, and they approach, 2 of them each approach you, Sova, and Jhon. And then you see a female officer come off the airlock, and she stands behind Dupek. And the 2 officers next to you and Jhon, this is all happening simultaneously. They say, please follow us.
Is this like one will go in front and one will stay behind, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a full-on.
Oh, yeah.
Now look at the captain and say, I understand the need of security, but is this really necessary?
If the situation was reversed, Lieutenant Commander, would you be putting your Drake officers in the same position?
I'm merely pointing out that we have done nothing aggressive towards any other federation.
Lieutenant Commander, I would not wish to do things hastily.
Ooh. We're getting real spicy with the
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I am not suggesting that you would do things hastily or haphazardly. I am merely pointing out that escorting us in such a matter may make others believe that we are a danger to the crew. Perhaps using the same amount of security but in a less aggressive manner would solve the same issue without making appearances of danger upon your ship.
He pauses for a moment to consider what you said, and then he says, my crew is aware of what our mission was. They have their own opinions about what is happening to the Drake. I only see 2 other officers standing here from the Drake seeing this happening.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you are saying, and there is no aggression. You have been charged with crimes. And so they start escorting Jhon through the airlock.
Okay.
Because Jhon is nah, he is not.
He's not talking. He's walking.
He's just walking. He was so paranoid about getting caught and all this stuff that he's just not. He just knows better to not try to fight.
Yep. So, of course, it would be illogical to state otherwise, because it is true that we have been formally charged. I merely am pointing out that there is still, even when officers are charged, they're still given a manner of honor and dignity until they've been charged and found guilty. Yes, until they are convicted of crimes. They are given at least the appearance of fairness and belief of possible innocence.
If you wish the security guards to be in a different formation as they escort you to the brig, that can be done.
Thank you, Captain. I thought more of a escorting, like you would escort a dignitary.
I understand your position, Lieutenant Commander, but I do not believe you come from a place of power. Your arguments have little strength in this area. My hands are metaphorically tied, and he gestures for them to move you through the airlock. But they, instead of being stacked, they stand to the sides of you.
Okay. So the only thing I'll say before I go, I will say, I must say, you are a most formidable opponent. I look forward to our Qel'thoq match.
And he says, Lieutenant Commander, we both serve in Starfleet and for the Federation. We are never an opponent. We are equals. But at the Qel'thoq table, that description may fit more readily. And you walk out of the airlock. So you, Zarin, and you, Tiny, are standing there with Captain Dupek and Chief Security Officer from the Kiri-kin-tha. She says, Ensign, who's Frank, she goes, Ensign Frank, please direct me to the location of your bridge.
Understood. This way, please.
Do you say anything, Zarin, or you just follow?
I was following. Yeah.
Okay. So she follows you right along. And you get to the bridge, and she goes over to the comm thing, and she makes a broad announcement to everybody on the Drake that she is now acting captain of the Drake, and that if you have any concerns or issues, to report to Lieutenant Clark, and he will address any of your problems. So Sova and Jhon are brought to the Kiri-kin-tha brig, and it's for yourself, Sova, that this is relatively fine. It's just a bed and a toilet and a little place to sit, and you can maybe do something there. But you kind of feel like for Jhon, this is probably not awesome because it's pretty stark. Even for brig standards, it's pretty bare bones.
Yeah. Does it have the force field, or does it have a physical door?
It has a physical door. And you are officially arrested. You were inside the brig. So the rest of you who are on the Drake, you guys learned that they're going to go to the last known location of the Qel'thoq, and they're going to leave a buoy there that's going to relay that they are ordered to come to the 74 Ironis system, and then they are going to wait for the Qel'thoq at that location. And so they begin their journey to that location.
The only thing I can think of, am I allowed to meditate while I'm sitting here?
You can do anything you want inside that room.
Because I was wondering, can I meditate to give us some momentum?
No, you were officially removed from interacting with the players.
Oh boy. So story-wise, I'll just meditate. Well,
yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not excommunicated from the game. You're just like Arhat and Knightley. You are in a different location where you may not interact with the rest of the crew.
And this is where I find the most obnoxious science officer and just become.
Okay, so it has been over a month and almost a half of you guys being on Benicia, taking care of the planet, getting the colonists and everything back in order, getting some of the crops back in working order, helping people get back on their feet, dismantling barricades on both sides, both colonist barricades and the Klingon barricades, discussing with the Klingons of the Qel'thoq. You learned that they don't care about the bodies of Gomrock's vessel, so you all just kind of make general, mass-ish graves. You try not to be too inhumane about it, but nobody really cares on the Klingon side. And it's been a long time. You guys have been on this for quite a long time. And the two of you are getting more traditional meals. You're getting more of home cooked meals than you were getting on the Klingon ship. And I think it's safe to say, Knightley, that you have found yourself way more on the planet than back up on the ship. Yeah, you've probably been sleeping down in your parents' house a lot more frequently and not really returning to the Qel'thoq when it's in orbit. Now, the Qel'thoq left with Gomrock's vessel to take it to Kronos. They were only gone for a couple weeks, and they've returned back to orbit and informed you the proceedings have gone relatively okay, but as usual, there's a lot of infighting, a lot of struggles with houses and things of that nature. So it's not got a lot of traction quite yet, but Gowry is not giving up. And at best, or at worst, Gomrock is killed and he's no longer doing what he was trying to set out to do. So it's getting to that time where the two of you know that it's time to return to the Qel'thoq and return to the Drake. The time has come finally. It's been quite a long time of you being on the planet. Is there anything you guys want to do on the planet before going to the Qel'thoq?
I would be making the best I can some stew.
Okay, yeah. So what we would say, Mike, is that you're down there and you're basically using all of the like soup stock ingredients, but you have your own personal red bat that you're like still making. Like you still have your supply of the meat, but you're having to use their like soup ingredients to like make your own.
Yeah, it's the farming.
It's just you
We
down
have
there
lots
like
of
this
vegetables and stuff.
big pot is like stirring and scooping into like these thermoses.
And everybody avoiding it.
Yeah, nobody's around.
And not a whole lot of culture on our planet.
Sure, not. Well, maybe this month has been a little bit of culture. You've had an Andorian and you've had a couple Klingons come down, check some things out, but for the most part,
it's part of the reason why they were so. I grew up so terrified of Klingons.
Yeah.
And most likely, I would be kind of walking around with the Klingons just because the colonists would not go anywhere near them.
No, and they have. I mean, you've noticed that Tobias is a little more agreeable talking to some of the Klingons who have come down, like Gowry and some others, but most, like Mike is saying, most of the colonists are they're not rude, they're just not really socializing.
Yeah, my dad definitely would be like happy to talk to anybody. Yeah, so I would just be spending as much time as I could with my parents before I go back home.
Okay.
There's also a big Andorian walking around with a big rifle.
So you return to the vessel and you go up to the bridge, and Gowry begins your journey back. It's September 25th, and you begin your journey back to where you last departed from the Drake. You may anticipate probably a month and change, so you have some time. Again on this Klingon vessel after being down on Barolia for quite an extended time. So about halfway through, Gowry calls you both to his ready room, and he says, "Captain Commander, it has been an honor to have served beside you. We have slain many of the Empire's greatest enemies, and it is sad to say that we will not be able to do more. I am broken of heart that I must return you to your Earth vessel. It would be glorious if you could stay with us and we could have infinite more battles. There are many places to explore this area of space. It is difficult for me to have an eye on you, Captain, not because I am suspicious of you or anything of that nature. You always have been, but now we know that you are House Dokai, and we do not abandon one another. Unfortunately, I cannot just abandon my ship and my men. There's no honor in giving all of this up to be on an Earth vessel. So with your approval, I would like to recommend my personal helmsman that I have had here on the Qel'thoq. I would like to place him on your vessel with your approval, and he can give updates more readily than you can, and on different channels than Starfleet may not be monitoring.
Well, I don't know what will be happening to me when I get back. I'm court-martialed at the moment.
That's nothing.
I think it's something.
They would kill you if you were in the Klingon Empire. Paperwork and being held in a room is nothing.
I may lose my captaincy in my vessel, in which case Kylus would not be of any use to you or me.
Perhaps I will have Kylus kill the Admiral.
Gowry, what did we learn after all this time we've spent together?
That red bat that Commander makes is delicious.
I will have to face my criminal charges when I return. I don't want anything to happen to my crew because of the decisions I've made.
It is the honorable thing, and I do understand it. I wish that the Federation, that Starfleet, could understand what you were doing. The power, the work that you were doing here for the Empire, how much you saved the sector of space.
I agree. It's nearsighted, and I'm hoping that I can stand a fair trial and explain and give proof and evidence of why I did what I did.
Well, if it comes to it that they will listen to a Klingon member of the Empire, they can always find me, and I will give any testimony that is needed.
Perhaps having Kylos aboard for any trial that I endure could help as a witness.
I believe that whatever you ask of him, Captain, he will do.
So I'm willing to have him aboard. It might end up helping in the future for anything that comes up, but I don't need to be watched over.
I do not mean to offend you, Captain. It is not in a sense that you are a little girl. I just would like that if something bad is to happen, Kylos could call to me and I could arrive faster than normal. A lane of communication is sometimes delayed because of Starfleet and their regulations and their policies and their paperwork.
Yes.
They're not so willing to talk to Klingons, and I understand.
Captain, it's not watch over you. We watch your back.
Yes. I wouldn't mind a more direct link to you as well. Now that we've made contact, I don't want to sever that entirely. I would accept these terms.
I would have to fall slain at your commander's feet if I ever allowed something to happen to Carmack's Paquis.
So he can come aboard as long as he understands that he might be sent back to you rather quickly.
As long as you are taking breath, Captain, and you are standing on some flooring, Kylos will be around, ship or no ship.
And once we get back, we'll have to look into our options, Captain. There is no guarantee.
I find the Admiral to make very questionable decisions. She's very suspicious. I don't like her very much. And for that matter, I believe that I've done nothing wrong. So I will fight.
Commander, I don't exclude you from this conversation. You are here in this room. I know that you are a warrior in your own rights. Kylos is a warrior in his own right. Would you foresee any problems in your department?
From what I've seen of him, I don't see him as a security risk, which is my biggest concern when anyone comes onto my ship. As long as he understands that we are in charge, I am willing to go by the captain's word if she chooses to have him on.
You have been a trusted member at my side, and you have done many things that only the three of us in this room know about. And it will stay that way. But know this, Commander. Kylos will listen to the captain, but he will also listen to you, Commander. You are a trusted source. So take no offense if he listens to none of the others. It is not because he thinks less of them. He just has orders from me.
I understand.
And I know that you understand this, Commander, but where one of your men may fall short in your expectations, he may end up behind a door or decommissioned from Starfleet. If Kylos was to fail me, he would not return to the Qel'thoq, for he would be dead.
The warrior way.
Something that I can see that you understand. So, in the few more weeks that we have before returning to our last position that we saw the Drake at, I think it's time for us to bring Kylos up to speed, and I will bring him to the room, and two of you can discuss with him once he is made fully apprised of the situation. So Gowry goes down, he pushes a button down on his desk, and you're out at the helm station, at the ship out on the bridge. And the way that the bridge is laid out, you basically have to get up, turn around, walk to the back of the bridge, and then there's a corridor, and you turn to the right, and at the end of that corridor hallway is the ready room door. So Gowry presses the button, and he says, "Soch, Kylos, report to the ready room."
And so I report to the ready room. I walk in, and I stand silent.
So so they'll describe what they look like to you, and you describe what you look like to them.
So I stand somewhat tall, because I'm a Klingon. I do have the traditional, the Worf has the satchel, long hair, but it's very messy. I look like I've been through. I don't maybe take care of myself that great. I have the traditional long goatee style, and I do have a scar that comes around the right of my eye from clearly a knife. That's pretty much what I look like. So like traditional Klingon style, and I have the full armor gear and everything.
Nice.
So when I enter, I see them, but have I seen an Andorian before?
You've probably had like very limited run-ins with
Okay,
them. You've seen
gotcha.
them, but like it's here and there kind of a thing. You've been mainly dealing with a lot of alien species that like Starfleet and the Federation don't even know about yet.
Okay, so but I know him as a person, but I don't know the race.
Not really. All you've
Gotcha.
heard through like official word is that like they're kind of like Klingons, but in your mind like weaker. It's like they're a warrior race who are, really
Makes
headstrong and they
sense.
have a lot of honor, but they're not a
Yeah,
Klingon. So
because Klingons are
right,
just as arrogant.
right. So
Okay, so I enter the room and I stand just following orders. That's all.
he says, "Sok, you are ordered to go aboard the human Earth vessel USS Drake, and you are to join Captain Knightley and Commander Arhat here, and become my eyes on the Drake.
Anyone whose house of Dokai is worthy to serve to the death in glory and honor.
You will make a fine addition to that crew, and you will bring honor and some Klingon heart to a crew that has been missing it for quite a while."
And I would bang on my chest twice.
Do you two have any questions of Kylus?
Like I told you, my only concern is the safety of the ship. As long as he's willing to work with me, I am willing to work with him.
Yeah, I guess I only, we're heading on a Starfleet ship. We do things a little differently over here. So we don't kill first, ask questions later over on the Drake.
Okay, so I would say that I will try to respect the rules of the ship and that I am honored to do anything for Gauri's decision. And the safety of the ship is, of course, first and foremost in my mind because I have flown many a ships and many a battles and I haven't crashed one yet.
Nice. Well, then welcome aboard.
Kindly accept. Thank you. If you could show me my quarters, I'm in need of a hot shower. I don't know.
Yeah,
Klingons don't shower.
That's fine. Yeah. So he says, Gowry's like, "Very good. I will excuse you, Captain and Commander, but I will ask you, Kylus, to stay behind."
Okay.
We take our leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they walk out of the room, and the door's shut, and Gowry stands up from his desk in the ready room, and he walks over to you, and he says, "It needs not to be repeated. We have had a moment of conversation before that this may be something that was going to happen. But I will remind you that if anything is to happen to the captain, I will kill the person who killed her, and then I will kill you."
If anything happens to the captain, I will already be dead.
As
And I will have done an honor serving that captain.
As expected. And he turns back, and there's like a box on his desk, and he opens it up, and it's like a multi-layered like blade that has like prongs on it, and he pulls it out, and he kind of does that thing where he's like showing it to you, but he's also like moving it in one fluid motion, and he pulls out his palm and he cuts like diagonally across his palm and then hands you the blade.
And I will do that same fashion of swirl around, cut my hand as well.
And then he extends the hand that's been cut out to you,
and I grasp it with a firm handshake.
And he grabs, and it's very Klingon and gross, we'll just say. And he says, "You have done me a great honor, Kylus. I will never forget this.
I am honored, for your blood is now in my blood.
You are now a member of House Dokai.
And it is great honor to be so."
Dismissed. You go to like gesture back to give him the knife, and he like declines it. And he doesn't say anything. He just gives you the like, "No, I'm not taking it."
Got it. So I remove the knife that's in my sheath and I place that into it. First, I wipe my sleeves, then I do that.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. And so you depart the ready room and you go and get your effects ready, because in just a little bit, you'll be joining the Drake crew. So 17 days later.
Oh boy.
you arrive at the system of 74 Ironis, and then 2 days after that, Admiral Foxwell and JAG Officer Tipnik arrive there to meet with the Kiri-kin-tha. And so we fast forward to November 3rd, and the Qel'thoq arrives at the last known coordinates where the Drake was, and they receive a buoy that says to meet in the 74 Ironis system by means of the USS Kiri-kin-tha. That's how the buoy addresses it. So you, Arhat, and Captain Knightley, you both get news from Gowry that he says that the Drake is not here and that you're to meet in this other system. In the note, it says that the Drake has been seized. So Gowry is concerned, but he doesn't also want to start a Federation war. He doesn't want to start something. So he defers to the two of you, what?
Well, the first question I would ask is it a good idea to have a Klingon ship traveling through Federation territory? Even though the buoy says go there, is it a good idea?
I do see your point, Commander. We have flown into Federation space before, but perhaps it would be fun to show our teeth as we fly through sectors of space.
Oh, I guarantee we can have fun with it, but I'm not sure it's a good idea. That's the only thing.
Okay.
Okay.
End it.
Punch
Have it be?
Full speed ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple days pass, and you arrive at the 74 Ironis system, and there, clear as day, is the Kiri-kin-tha, a shuttle, a Starbase 2 shuttle, and the Drake. Are all there in the system. And the Qel'thoq is immediately hailed. Gowry answers it, and it's Captain Dupek, and him and Gowry have this exchange of, Captain Knightley and Commander Arhat are placed under arrest, and that he wishes for them to be brought to the Kiri-kin-tha to stand for trial. So Gowry doesn't like that idea, but he defers to you two in the room. He knows this was going to happen, but he doesn't. He's also a Klingon, so he's ready to blow all the ships up if you want him to.
I would tell him to, this is what we knew was going to happen. Let me go and fight from the inside.
Well, there's also the fact that if you get kicked out of the Federation, you have a place you can go.
And he says, Kylos will still be with you, so please make sure to notate to them that he is allowed to be.
He's there as your representative.
Yeah, he's allowed to disembark from our vessel onto the Kiri-kin-tha.
I'm not sure what good it will do, but I'll tell them.
So Gowry basically tells Dupek that he agrees to these terms, and they go and they dock with the Kiri-kin-tha. So you three are at the airlock, and you walk through, and you get to the other side, and you look through, and it's Captain Dupek and 10 other officers.
Nice.
And so the airlock opens, and what you see is Commander Dupek. So you, Kylos, don't know who any of these people are. You have zero. You just know every single one of them in the room is a Vulcan, and you can tell because also Knightley, they have a similar uniform. You can tell by her medals on her chest that this guy ahead of you also is a captain. And then you can tell that the people behind him, the 9 other officers behind, are very likely security officers. They're not armed to the hilt, but they're all armed. And you can tell that from your training that you would know that this is a room full of people ready to fire.
Got it.
So, as the three of you disembark from the airlock, Captain Dupek says to you, Captain Knightley, it is most agreeable to see you. I do have the unfortunate order to arrest you, as well as you, Commander.
I interrupt and I say, cut the diplomacy and get to the point.
I see that your time with Klingons has made you less diplomatic.
I have no interest in prolonging this. Just read me my rights.
So he Mirandizes you and the commander, and then he turns and looks at the other Klingon at Kylos, and he says, and you, officer?
And I would say at that point that considering my position and where I am at, you're not taking her anywhere.
Do you come from the Qel'thoq? I don't understand why you are present. I was not made known of a Klingon officer on the Drake.
I don't see why that matters. The matter at hand is whether or not you're going to take the commanding officer or whether or not you're going to fall at my blade.
So he says, I anticipated combat, but if you would wish to discuss these matters, we can do that as we walk to the brig.
I would be agreeable to that.
So he gestures to the other 9, and one of them go on each of them, and the other 7 basically walk around you. And he says, Captain, can you explain this officer's claims of violence against myself and my crew?
Kylus has been charged as my personal bodyguard, and he takes his duty very seriously, as you can tell. I wish to have a fair trial and explain how Admiral Foxwell is to blame for this. And then I should keep my mouth shut because anything you say can and will be used against you.
So he turns to you, Kyla, says they're like, they're all, it's the famous walk and talk down the corridor. So he turns and looks at you and he says, I am familiar with Klingon culture and your ways of life. I do not intend to put any harm to Captain Knightley here. We are just holding her in a location until she has met, as your people would call, a tribunal.
Which I agree to.
I would say that I respect my Captain Knightley at this point, but if I feel at any point if she's in danger, that I will make sure that she's safe.
I understand that prerogative, and I would never dishonor you in that manner.
And I would appreciate that, and thank you.
So he walks, you guys go down, and the doors to the brig open. And as you two are walking in, you see Commander Jhon and Lieutenant Commander Sova in cells already, like indoors, behind doors.
Aw, I feel bad. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
And he says, I believe the captain called you Kylus?
And I would say it's Kylus.
My mistake. Kylus.
Yeah. Captain certainly didn't pronounce it wrong.
And he turns and he says, you can understand for security purposes I cannot allow you to stay in this room, but I can offer you guest quarters here on the Kiri-kin-tha.
That would be acceptable.
And then he gestures to a couple of them, and then only like 3 walk you down. So you're brought down to a guest quarters, and the doors open, and so obviously they're a couple bumps up from Klingon quarters. They're more comfortable, but they're not egregiously comfortable. Because as Matthew, Vulcans also are kind of like, they're not like lavish people, so they're also like, it's very logical, or it's just like, it is a room and there are these items in the room. It's not like a human, like, it's not like a hotel room where it's like, look at all this fun stuff and paintings are on the wall and all. It's like, no, it's not. It's like a bed, a desk, like a bathroom, and like a place to put like clothing, and like, that's it. But it has like bedding and sheets and things of that nature.
Okay. So I'd walk in and I'd be like, this is beyond what I would have imagined, and I appreciate your gesture. This is nice. These will be absolutely fine.
Thank you. And if you require assistance, please let the officer outside of your room know.
And I'd be agreeable to that. I would say I probably won't need any assistance, but I'll be good. Yeah.
So let's just say an hour goes by and the door to the brig opens, and in walks Admiral Foxwell and an officer that you can tell has jag things on him, and he has an arbizon, so he has like angled ridges on his head, and they come in and they do a scan of the cells, and then once they see Captain Knightley, they approach Captain Knightley's like door, and you see Admiral Foxwell go and press like a button next to your door. And she says, how interesting that the brig on the Kiri-kin-tha looks a lot like Starbase 2, don't you agree?
I honestly might just stay silent because I've been read my rights.
Oh, okay.
I like
I'll
that.
see. I'll just say to her, I've been read my rights, so I'm gonna choose to remain silent. And then I'm just like,
she says you'll choose to follow those orders.
Orders that I agree with. Yeah.
Interesting. She says, well, in 2 days, a hearing will be held to see if you are guilty of all charges.
I look forward to holding you accountable.
You look forward to holding me accountable.
Then I should really shut my mouth.
But an
I would just say to her, like, good day, Admiral Foxwell. And I would just kind of like walk.
And she says, I don't know what I did, Captain, to make you hate me so much, but I hope during the hearing we can discover the truth. And she walks away from the brig. And she goes over to the commanders and she presses it and she says, Commander, I understand from what I have gotten from Captain Dupek that a lot of what took place was under the direction of your captain, and so therefore whatever happens in her trial will then dictate what we do going forward with yourself and your other officers here present.
Understood.
Is it a waste of time to ask you why you didn't return?
I was following the captain's orders to try and save people. We saved an entire planet.
I don't know what to believe, Commander.
The best thing to do is do your investigation and go look.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, well, Commander, we'll see what our investigation brings.
Understood.
And so she walks away and she goes down to the next two and tells Jhon that, and then gets to Sova and says basically the same thing. And then when she gets to the point where she's like, do you have an explanation for like why we're in this position?
I would like to be meditating on the floor when she does.
I see, you're just like laying on your back on the floor.
No, I would like to be sitting with my legs crossed.
Okay, yes,
And
okay.
when she talks to me, I don't want to react at all.
Wow. You don't even, nothing.
Major silent treatment.
My eyes are closed, my hands are on my knees, and my legs are crossed, and I don't even...
Nothing. Like a stone.
Yes.
And she just goes, okay, and just like walks away from the door. She goes back to the captain's thing and she presses the button and she goes, Captain, I understand you do not wish to talk to me, but I just have a question to ask of you, and it is not a question about what has taken place. If you would like, we can delay the proceedings by another couple of days, and we can bring a Qel'thian defense attorney to this location, and you can have that individual as your defense attorney, or someone who I trust and I believe you trust can be your defense attorney, and that would be Ambassador Relin Zarin.
Well, I think I would choose Zarin since he's been involved, like, behind the scenes and knows my crew really well, and like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say I would choose Ambassador Zarin.
And then she indicates to you that it's going to be herself, JAG Officer Dupek, and it was originally supposed to be Dr. House, but he is incapacitated, so it'll be Commander Ra from the Kiri-kin-tha.
Will be my prosecutor.
Will be the judges.
Okay.
And the prosecutor will be Captain Dupek.
Ambassador Zarin is on the
Kiri-kin-tha. You're going to be on the Vulcan ship because you haven't been put into you haven't been detained to a quarter. You've had more freedom because the admiral doesn't desire for you to be like locked up. So you've had freedom to go between both vessels, but you've been mainly staying on the Kiri-kin-tha because there's nobody really to talk to on the Drake. They're all like in their quarters.
Right.
So they come and you're in like the galley of the Vulcan vessel, and they approach and they say, Ambassador, says, please accompany me to the brig where you will speak with Captain Knightley. I believe you have been assigned the role of defense counsel.
I agree to that. Yep,
Okay.
Show me the way.
So you follow this Vulcan officer to the brig, and they gesture to the brig door opens and they gesture for you to go inside, and they do not, and they stand on the edge of the door. And so when you reach the door, it's a very, it's like the rest of the ship. It's very plain. It's very simple. The architecture is very systematic, and you see several doors in this room, and in three of them is Commander Arhat. You see Commander Jhon and Lieutenant Commander Sova, but in the far end you see Captain Knightley. Mm-hmm. And each of them are just in various states of like sitting or laying on the bed. Or Sova is sitting on the floor and it looks like he's meditating. So the way it works is it's like almost like a pad on the side of the door, and you can press thing to talk, but like that's, you're going to talk through like an intercom.
Captain Knightley?
Zarin, Good to see you again.
Yes, you too. I hear you've summoned me to be your defense attorney.
Yes, you were provided as an option for me. I thought that made the most sense.
Okay, let's see.
And Will, I'm like comfortable where I am. But so now at this point, I'm wondering where Knightley is and if she's, I'm starting to wonder about that because that's my job.
Okay. So do you want to like go out into the corridor and like
I
talk
might
to the
want to,
officer?
I might want to look around and just see if I can just make sure that that she's okay.
So as you approach the quarters door and you're just about like you're thinking about opening the door and like interacting with this officer, you have like a ring at the door.
Okay, so I enter.
So you open the door, and at the door is the Vulcan security officer is not standing there, and there is two people standing there. One is a Vulcan officer, and another one is a human officer with a cybernetic arm.
Okay, and I would want to just push my way through them to find out where Knightley is. I'm not worried about them at all.
So you start to push through them, and the Vulcan officer says, wait. He goes, you want to get Knightley out, right?
Yes, correct.
And he says, we must do it in a more logical manner. I do not believe that she is guilty.
I pick up on that and I nod my head and I back my way back into my room, into my quarters. But I
And
don't say a word yet.
and so the Vulcan officer turns to the human officer and he says, your insights were correct, Lieutenant Clark. You have dealt with more Klingons than I have. May we enter, officer?
I agree.
So they enter, and the doors close behind them. And that's where we'll pause that, because hopefully Caleb will come back and actually be able to conversate with you and catch him up to speed and do all that good stuff.
Perfect.
Okay, so Eric, you and Knightley, what do you want to do at the door?
Well, obviously she would kind of tell me what's been going on in her past few weeks and months adventures.
Yeah, I would update him for sure on like the Battle of Barelia and like all that went down there. And then I would just let him know that, like I know that like I went against orders from my commanding officer and I'm not opposed to having, proper punishment for that. But I stand by what I did because we saved thousands of innocent lives and the Admiral, I feel, would have been blood guilty had I listened, then their blood would be on her hands because she didn't listen to me. She had no reason not to trust me. And yeah, I feel like there was negligence on her part.
Yeah. Well, sounds like we have a good case. Okay. Well, I'll go back to my quarters and write up something for whenever the trial begins.
Okay.
Well, you take care of yourself.
You too.
Yeah, so that's where that ends there. And we'll end with this bit that we cut to Nurse Ta'ana coming out of her quarters, where she is allowed to go into the med bay for a small extended time where if somebody needs medical attention, she's available. But if nobody shows up, she is to return to her quarters. And you notice that in going over some documents that a couple days ago, not many, just a couple days ago, you see on file that Sandin was to be cleared for duty. And you pretty much see on the paperwork that a couple days ago that like he should have been reevaluated and probably returned to duty. So you proceed down into the med bay, and as the med bay doors open, Sandin is just laying in bed like sleeping, but in the bed next to him where Dr. House was, he is not there. And the sheets are all moved and there's no one in his bed.
So I would take up my scanner and I would like to see if I can pick up any sort of like traces of his DNA.
Okay, so you do like where would you want to do that like specifically?
Like on the sheets.
Okay.
On the bed.
So science control difficulty 0.
Oh boy.
No, 1 difficulty 1 because you're looking at for DNA.
Got 1 success.
So you just met it, and yep, his DNA. It shows that like his DNA is present on the sheets, and that
Okay.
there's no other. It's not like his sheet. Like it's not like he never was in the bed, basically.
Yeah. In this time period, can I ask the computer to locate him?
No.
Excellent.
You can search for his stuff, like you can search for his communicator, but like that's all you could do.
Okay, let's do that.
So you go over to the computer and you punch it in and it says his communicator is in the med bay.
Got it. I would just call up the bridge and let the commanding officer up there know that House is gone, and I would like some assistance searching for him.
So you call to the bridge and Lieutenant Tiprana answers and she says, Nurse Tana, what do you mean?
As I walked into the med bay to check on my patients, he is gone.
And so she says, well, of course he is gone from the med bay, nurse.
What do you
I'm
mean?
speaking to him on the bridge.
He is not well.
And that's where we end tonight. And you'll have to catch what happened to Dr. House whenever I get up the video, This Old House. Until next time. Bye.
Tomorrow starts with us today. Drake, strong and true. Side by side we'll break on through. Bold and brave we light the way. Tomorrow starts with us today. Light the way. Tomorrow starts with us today.